Thank you very much, Patronotedo, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to welcome you all to this very important meeting. As we celebrate 25th year of independence, restoring Georgia's independence, we are hosting 25th annual session of the Parliamentary Assembly of OSCE, which is really remarkable, and we are proud of having you all here in Tbilisi. We are an ambitious country, and thus we are nowhere near where we would like to be. Despite all the successes that we have achieved during all these years, we are not satisfied, of course, and there is a long way to go for us. And this is a road of constant changes, ups and downs, reforms, successes, failures. And we've gone through civil war, occupation, but we are proud of being independent, defining our own fate, and being very consistent on the road of European and Euro-Atlantic aspirations. We are leaving behind us challenges of a lower middle-income country and facing up against those of upper middle-income countries. And we are leaving behind us the challenges of democratic transition and taking on the task of democratic consolidation. I was very pleased to note in our last progress report that Georgia registers significant improvements in a wide range of areas, from foreign policy and economic growth to social standards and democracy. Our efforts are clearly paying off. Over the past 3 years, Georgia has succeeded in signing and implementing an association agreement and deep and comprehensive free trade area agreement with the European Union. Our relations with the EU continues to advance, and we look forward to another major step soon, visa liberalization, having met and surpassed all benchmarks required by the EU. In parallel, we have significantly expanded our web of free trade deals with neighboring and strategic countries, and have even become a hub for the newly revived Silk Road. As it should be noted, we were in millennia past. Just last week, we signed a free trade agreement with EFTA countries, and negotiations for a free trade deal with China will be finalized by the end of this year. Internally, ambitious institutional reforms have overhauled judicial and electoral procedures and brought significant improvements to citizens' rights and living conditions. Georgia increasingly aligns with international standards of democracy and rule of law. Our steady climb in international rankings has by all measures been outstanding. I guess you can tell that I'm very proud of the progress our country has achieved, and there is a reason for that. And this is true also for economic development. Amidst sustained global economic turbulence and uncertainty, Georgia is part of a new narrative of growth, co-development, and social cohesion. We have made great strides in making Georgia an attractive place for international business. When investors look at Georgia, they see a country that is stable, welcoming, and on the rise. In the first quarter of this year, foreign direct investments increased more than 100%, and the next quarter's forecasts are pretty much the same in terms of being very, very optimistic. We are a hotspot for doing business in the Caucasus, Middle East, Turkey, and even Russia. According to the World Bank, we are one of the easiest countries to do business. We have 9th lowest tax burden in the world, according to World Economic Forum ranking. All the major credit rating agencies consider Georgia as stable. We also believe promoting internal economic development goes hand in hand with attracting investments. Our government has adopted a 4-point reform agenda designed to ensure sustainable development and inclusive growth. Ongoing reforms cover the tax system and capital markets, as well as the education, health and pension systems. All of this underscores the government's commitment to creating a modern, educated and healthy Georgian workforce that is ready to compete in the global economy. In sum, Georgia is growing, diversifying and adding value to its economy, increasing transparency while lowering red tape and taxation, controlling its deficit, and ensuring credit ratings improve year on year. I have no doubt that Georgia is on the right path. This autumn we will hold parliamentary elections, and I hope that the people of Georgia will confirm once again the path towards a stronger democracy and increased perspective for all of us. The elections will also test our success to date. Our last parliamentary vote made history in that it marked the first peaceful transition of power from one elected government to another. This one, I am sure, will make history as the first free and fair parliamentary elections. I say this because our reforms have already ensured we have experienced 2 national votes judged free and fair by our international partners, 1 presidential election and 1 round of municipal elections. I say this because the structures are in place to ensure this election meets the highest international standards. I say this because our government is 100% committed to ensuring they meet these standards. This is because what is at stake goes well beyond winning. Much more important are the values free and fair elections represent. It is crucial that Georgian citizens can go to the polls unencumbered by the fear of any pressure or violence. I do not deny that this has been a dominant feature of past practices in Georgian politics. There is no place for violent politics today in Georgia. And we will do everything to ensure that Georgia is no longer a place where what counts is who's counting. We have world-class level of transparency and freedom of media. Perhaps more importantly, we have a democracy in which the winner does not take all and the loser does not lose all. The challenge now is to make a success an expectation for each citizen and the world at large. Nevertheless, Georgia's success story has not come about without serious challenges. Internal reforms are progressing very well, but we face serious external security challenges. Since 2013, developments in Ukraine have given rise to a new East-West divide. We are moving further away from the vision of a Euro-Atlantic and Eurasian security community as enshrined in the Astana Commemorative Declaration. These challenges undermine the prosperity and democracy of Georgia and Europe. No democracy can withstand a constant choice between freedom and sovereignty, as the one posed by Russia to states it regards too near to be abroad. No economy can withstand forever a security of country risk. Politically, Russia is not helping to create a common neighborhood. One thing is clear, Georgia does not face an East-West dilemma, but a freedom of occupation dilemma. Despite this, we have always remained committed to the peaceful resolution of the conflict with Russia. Regardless of any developments, we seek at all costs to continue the very fragile but very much needed confidence-building process between Georgians and their brothers and sisters in the occupied territories. There is an advantage for nations like Georgia that are certain that the road we have ahead is no longer than the road we have covered. We do not take our victories for granted because it is our generation that fought to build this Georgia we live in. We did not inherit this state. This OSCE session is a response to Europe's division along an east-west axis before our independence. And the OSCE is about resolving these conflicts. And this is very important to ensure stable development of this region. The power of the OSCE is that it is encompassing. Communication, transparency, and confidence building are more important amidst the crisis, not less. At a point in time when Europe reflects on its future and Russia lives through a perennial identity crisis, we all need the time to envisage a common future as a continent. The OSCE was founded to manage the lack of consensus and common vision. For that very reason, today, it is invaluable. Ladies and gentlemen, fate is not always in our hands, but this does not mean we cannot influence our future. In Georgia, we believe in our European future. In fact, looking at what we have achieved to date, despite the security challenges that our region is facing, Georgia has clearly beat the odds, and we plan to keep on going that way. Thank you very much for your attention, and enjoy the rest of the day.